So Python will be studying from this book to make the boring stuff. Okay, so this book is a really great book when you are starting Python, because this takes you from zero level to the advanced level of Python. It's really simple. You can actually go through these books. It has this table of contents. You can learn everything from here, whatever you feel it's necessary for you. And I hope if you do the entire book, it will be really helpful for you. But anyway, it's really difficult for you to go through the entire thing. I'll show you the important parts. So the first part was introduction, where it gives why Python is important and all those things. So you can actually read this. These are like story about why Python and all those things. So the second part is about the basics. So Python is a really simple language. Actually, if you see, everyone's computer is pre-built with Python. For example, if you're using Linux, Linux already has installed, they has already installed Python in it. So you can use very easily. You can write Python and your Python console will open up. Okay. So 1 plus 2 equal to 3, it gives you the value. So basically, if you are using Linux, then it's very simple for you. If you're not using Linux, if you're using like Windows, you have to install Python. So it's for installing Python, it's very simple. You can go to Windows and search Python installation for Windows and then install the Python, or else you can actually use Colab. So last class I showed you how to use Colab, and I have given you an idea how to create a new notebook. Notebook in the sense it's same console, but it's an interactive console. So here you can see it's not interactive. I can write the code, but then it's not at all user friendly, right? So this thing is same this. So this is similar to this only, but then it is interactive. It has extra features like you can add GPUs. In this, it doesn't have any GPUs. So you can't use GPUs in this, but it has GPUs. So that's the difference between this. And now if I start a new notebook, yesterday I have already started Python basic notebook. So let's start the Python. Okay, for you, it might not be that you can go into this console and start. For me, I'll remove this and I exit. Okay. Okay. So now my new notebook will open up. Yesterday's notebook is already there. You can actually share with every one of, you can comment it out. You can do lot more things in this. So that's really handy. Okay. And for data structure, so for data science and all, this is a really good tool. For today's class, we'll go to the basics of Python. So this and all you might already be knowing in C++. So you can do 2 plus 2 equal to 4, all those operators like these all power operator, exponent operators, remainders, integers, all those things you already know. So I'll skip through this part, and you can actually read if you want. Okay, it's up to you. If you want to go through entire thing, it will be great. Okay, so it shows how to do parsing of any strings. So basically, if you have integers or if you have strings in case you want to convert into integers. So for example, I have a string like num equal to 39. So this is a string, okay. It's not an integer because there is a quotation. If quotation is not there, then it's an integer, okay. I have given it's an integer. And now I'll run this. Num will be equal to, it will automatically store 39 into this num, 39 string into num. So right now I want to pass this as an integer. So I'll put int and num. What it will do, it will basically convert the string into an integer. See, it is converted into integer. So you want to know what is the type of this, you can store this into this. So basically it will be stored in num. And if you want to know a type of any data structure, you can actually put num. So it will give you an int. So that's how you get the type. And the next part is, it's simple only. You don't have to put like integer num equal to something like C++. You can actually put the variable name and the variable itself. So it's very simple for Python, and you don't have to do much heavy lifting task here. So yeah. So the next part is length. What is the length? Length is basically the length of an array. Anything array like string of anything, like string is itself an array of characters. So basically it will give the length of string also. For example, if I give, right now num is not an array, so it will not give you any length. But in case you are doing num as a string, it will give you the length of the string. So it will give you 2 because the length of this string is 2. The number of elements in this string array or the character list is 2. So that's why it shows the number of length is 2. So it's simple, very simple. Next part is this is the parsing function. You can convert int into string or float into int or float into int. Anything you can parse anything into any other things. So it's really simple. This is the summary. If you don't want to read the entire textbook, you can go through the summary. It will explain everything again in a short form. So that's very simple. Okay, there is no very complicated stuff in it. And this is how you define the Boolean. So I guess in C++ you put it like this, small letter t, here it is capital letter T. So that's how you create a Boolean. Boolean, I guess you already know because you have done C++. Boolean is basically it's a value which represents whether it's true or false. So that's the Boolean, and this is the comparison operators. You can use it for comparisons of two variables. Very simple. You can use it for the purpose of writing if and else statement. Okay, so that's simple. These are true, false, and all those, or and. So basically, in this one, in this Python, you don't have to write this thing, this as a if, true, and false. Okay. So basically, you see that I don't have to write this and as like this. I can write like this. Okay. For or I'll write like this. Okay. So you don't have to write the operators in a special character manner. You can actually write a word for that. That is and or. So very simple. It's a really simple way of writing that. Now the next part is mixing booleans and writing all those things. You can go through this. It's very simple. If and else statement. So if and else statement is really simple. In case of C++ and all those things. Okay. In case of C++ and all those things, you write it very big manner and in very complicated manner. So like this, if true, you write it like this, right? So basically in this one, you don't have to write it like this. You just remove this bracket. In Python, only things matter is indentation. Indentation is in the sense the writing or the spaces you have given. For example, in this case, if I write any if statement, now if I press enter, it should give space. Okay, that will represent that after inside this if statement, whatever it is there, it's actually inside this space. So if I write if true, print okay. Now I'll put a nested if statement. Okay. So what it will do, it will print okay, and then it will again print okay. Okay. So that's what. And in case I want to put one more print, okay, hello. So okay, hello. Okay. So that's how you do indentation. Instead of these brackets, you do space, this tabs and all those things. This is known as indentation. So remember this, you have to use indentation for writing an if and else statements. It's simple, very simple. Next part is if an else statement is done, you can try it out. I will tell you the code, but then if you don't try it out, it won't be useful for you. So just try it out. You will get to know what all difficulties you might be facing while writing an actual code. So the next stuff is you have to write if and else statement. So yeah, break statement. So break is similar to that C of C++. So you don't have to read much. Yeah, all right. So this and all are similar only. It's not different. So we'll just skip through this part. Okay. And the next part is function. Okay. So the main important about Python is right. In case you are writing a C++ Python, you have to write function, something bracket, then open the bracket and put the function inside this. But in case of in case of Python, you don't have to do this. What you can do is you can actually put a def and the function name. For example, my function name is fun, and I'll put like this print. I love to have fun. So it's simple. Now I'll run this function. Okay, it shows some error because while you are creating some function, you have to use these brackets. So once you create function, you have to use this bracket. And now if I call this function, it will print those functions. I love to have some. Okay, it's very simple. You see, okay. So that simple is this. Now the next part. So you remember that instead of these brackets, you have to use indentations. Okay, in C++ you have to use brackets, but in this case you have to use indentation and this semicolon. Sorry, this symbol. Okay, so the next part is uh, the next part will be if and then statement, which you can actually check it out. And random int, you can generate random variables. So basically, it has an inbuilt function random. So for importing any functions, so in case of C++, you have to do include, right? Hash. In case of C and C++, you have to write include. Okay, include something like that. .h. Okay, so basically this something stdio.h. But in case of Python, you don't have to do this. What you can do is actually you can actually write import. That means you are importing a library and put the library name. For our case, I'll import random library. So let's import random library. Done. So random library is imported. I will just print the variable that is between 1 to 9. Any random int it can generate. So this is the function of this library using which you can generate any random int ranging from 1 to 9. So very simple. You can see this. Okay. That's how you import any library. There are tons of other libraries which you can use. Okay. Python itself has a some kind of platform using which they actually transfer library. Okay. So for our case, if you see, you can go to PyPy. PyPy is a platform where you can get libraries. So you can click on PyPy and search for libraries. For my case, if I want to do some OCR stuff or some high funder stuff, like I want to do some machine learning stuff, I'll put machine learning or anything like. For data science, we generally use TensorFlow libraries, which uses uh, so which is a machine learning library using which you can write machine learning models. So in future classes, we'll be using this library. One more library we'll be using is Scikit, which is also a machine learning library. Scikit. So Scikit, KDA, and Multilearn. So basically, these are machine learning libraries which you can install. How to install that? I'll teach you in the later stage when I'll be covering the libraries part. Right now, we don't have to. We have to look into the libraries because for the next couple of classes, we won't be using any libraries. So the next part is the next after two classes, we'll be using a data library. What is the functionality of this data library? Is to do the pre-processing tasks. So in case you are using pandas, it's a library using which you will actually do some kind of pre-processing. Okay. So okay, all right. So basically that's the idea. And the next part is I have I have told you how to import libraries. The next part is let's see what is the next part. Next part is okay. Okay, I forgot to ask you whether you are getting all those concepts or not. So, are you getting all these concepts, or are you just confused?
Getting
Okay, I hope if you like, these are only simple questions, simple concepts. So, I guess you already know some of this. I guess. So, yeah, for trying it out, you can go to console. If you have a laptop nearby, you go to console, notebook, and write your code into this. So, yeah. So this will be really helpful for you later on. I mean, if you know the coding part. Actually, I actually covered the data structure part also, but then right now in this thing, in this data science, it's not that important. So that's why I don't want to cover those complex algorithms and all those things. So yeah, this is a spam. This is a function how they created it. You can look into these examples and all those things. It's very simple. Okay, so yeah, these are. There are many libraries, tons of libraries available in Python. Okay, that's the unique feature of Python. Why Python is famous? Because there are many libraries using which you can do really wonderful things. So the next stuff is, let's check what is the next stuff. Okay, all right, yeah. So let's go to the next page. What is the next stuff is list. So list is nothing, it's an array only. The only difference between lists is that instead of using stack of memory, you use randomly distributed memory, but then you connect each element using a uh, some kind of link, some kind of links. Okay, so you don't have to know how does this list works. So list is basically an array. Okay, so how to define this array? It's very simple. I will define some random array. I'll give a name array and it is array. So that's it. You define a list. It's very simple. You can see it. You can only write a bracket and inside this, whatever element will be there, it will be the list. Okay. Okay. Right now, one more student is joining, Krishna. Okay. Welcome, Krishna. So I'm explaining about the list. So that's how you define a list. Okay, so you just have to put the list name or the variable name, and then you have to put two brackets or the square brackets, and then inside that you can put the elements. So this is how you define a list, and you can actually access the list by just putting the element number. It's simple, like it's the same way you do for a C and C++. Okay. The next part is that you can actually define a mixed list. So basically in case of C++, you can't define such kind of list, okay? But in this case, you can define it. Why? Because Python actually handles mixed type of lists. So that's a really good thing. You can actually define multiple types of data and use it for your own use cases. So yeah, that's how you define lists and all those things are given. So since Krishna joined, since Krishna joined late, so I just want to iterate that we are following this book, Automate the Boring Stuff. In case you have missed it, you can check our video, which I will be uploading into the YouTube, and also you can check this book. This book is a really great book, and you can actually cover the entire concept of Python from this book itself. So yeah, I mean, yeah. So basically you can use this for your own purpose. The next up is dictionaries and structuring data. What is a dictionary? So this is a very important thing you have to know, because in the later stage, you have to use dictionaries for your own purpose. Okay. So dictionary is nothing. It's a kind of list only, but then you are just pairing item, its key value. Okay. So for example, this is a dictionary I'm creating, name, Jodas. Roll number A16B111, okay, and college IIT Madras. Close the bracket. So basically, list dictionaries are basically a list only, but then here the elements are actually attached to a key value. So for example, I'll create a dictionary DIC. Okay. So I'll put DIC and I'll put the key value. So I'll put name, it will give me the name. So you see, it will print my name. That's how you access the elements in a dictionary. Okay. So I can access the element. Studies. Okay. So basically, right now you want to actually concatenate two strings. Okay. So for concatenating strings, you have to just put a plus sign. So that's how you concatenate strings. So studies in, okay, so there is a issue because this is outside, and all right. So you see, there are studies in item graphs, and I will put a bracket. It looks really like a normal sentence. So that's how we use a dictionary, and it is really useful because the later stage you have to access the values using these keywords. Okay, so in the later stage you will be given some kind of data of some housing or something like financial data, where you have to access the data using its key value. So that's the difference between a list and sorry, a dictionary and a list. Okay, so that's how you create a dictionary. Okay. Yeah, and one more thing is there. It's known as a tuple. Tuple is an ordered list. Okay, so in this, the list is unordered. So if you, there might be a cases where this order of the list might change, but in case of tuples, it's an ordered list. So if I put tuple, you have to use close brackets. Okay, whereas is a developer. So this is a tuple. So I'll put a tuple. I created a tuple. Okay. So how to access the tuple is very simple. How the same way you access an uh, list. Okay. You can iterate through tuple also for I in Q print I. So basically you can iterate through the tuple. Jodas is a very is a developer, and you can put separator is equal to nothing. So yeah. Okay. All right. Okay. So you can put and yeah. So Jordash is a developer. So that's how you use tuple. And the next concept will be tuple. Okay. So this is an entire book written on dictionaries. You can follow this book if you want to get the detailed output. Okay. So now the concept is manipulating strings. How do you change the strings? So by itself, you can actually get an idea that in case you want to change the string, you can change it very easily. For example, my string is str, something like string equal to data. So now I just want to manipulate it. I want to change that string. I'll write the string is equal to data. That's how you manipulate the string, right? Simple. So that's the basic funda behind this. There are other things, splicing and all. I'll cover it in the next tutorial. For today, I just wanted to give an overview about how to do coding, like say stuff what you did in C++, and I did it in Python. Okay, it's simple only. In C++, you have to do many kind of heavy lifting stuff, but in Python, you don't have to do much, and it's really simple. So yeah, you can go out and try it out by yourself. But every like benefit, like in Python, it's really simple to write, but in right, every benefit comes with kind of a trade-off, right? So Python is a very simple language, but then it's a very slow language. That's why people in machine level code and all. So you don't use Python. People use C++ because C++ directly deals with the machine code. Whereas in case of Python, it actually compiles into some other. Uh, so it takes so basically it has a really wonderful compiler, but then it's actually slows down the entire processes, right? So that's the difference between a Python and C++. So yeah, I hope you got some idea from today's tutorial. And in case you have some doubts, you can actually ask me in the comment section, and you can just turn on your mics and ask me any questions related to today's class. And we'll have one more class in an alternate day, that is on Sunday. And from Monday, we'll start our data science exploratory data analytics. So don't miss that class. That will be really important. Monday classes. This class you can miss because This is a simple Python, but from Monday, we'll have some kind of data analytics classes. So yeah, don't miss that class. And in case you don't know Python, you have to go through the entire video or the entire book and learn it as soon as possible. You have Saturday and Sunday. Just try out the code that has been given in this automate the boring stuff. Okay, all right then. You have any doubt, ask it out, or we'll just wrap it up.
Sir,
Hello, yeah, say.
here we need to use single quotes and double quotes.
Okay, so that's an interesting question. So I have to use single quotes and double quotes. So basically, whenever you write some kind of sentences, for example, I'll write some kind of sentence, okay, where and I like uh, any famous quote. Okay, let's use. Okay, like savings earning is spending. So this is a very famous quote of Warren Buffett right now. So that's why I just wanted to print it out. Okay, Warren Buffett. All right. So this the new line is not working. Maybe because okay. All right. I'll see about the new line. What's the issues? But whenever you want to use double quotations inside any. So right now, if I want to print, so if I want to print, let's print it. Okay, let's print it. If I want to print, okay, see, you can see this double quotation is inside that. All right. So basically, when you want to print some double quotations, you have to use single quotation outside. In case you want to use single quotation, you have to use double quotation outside. That's simple. So right now you can see you are just printing single quotation, and for that you are using double quotation. That's how you use alternatively single quotation and double quotations. I hope this clears out your doubt. In case you have some other doubts, you can post it. So the book name I have already mentioned. It's Automate the Boring Stuff. You can go into Google and type Automate the Boring Stuff. Okay. Once you type the Automate the Boring Stuff, you will get the first link. Click on that link and you can open it up. Automate the Boring Stuff. The name itself suggests that you can actually automate all those boring stuff you generally do into your day-to-day life. All right. So basically okay. So today's class is this topics till tuples. You can go through this into this book and let me know if you have any doubts. Just post it in the group and I'll answer that doubt. Okay. In case you have some more doubt, you can ask me right now itself and I'll clear it out. Okay. You have any doubt? If you don't have any doubt, you can post yes and I'll wrap this session up. All right, so cool. Since you guys don't have any doubts, so I'll just close this session. All right, and I'll be also sharing the recordings in the group. If you missed, just like Krishna, we have missed the half of the classes. So I'll just push the recording into the group. You can go to the recordings. All right. So bye then. Good night. See you in the next session.